So I'm heading on for Auriel's bow. And that's way off in Solitude. Got myself slightly turned around for a little bit, but I'm back on track. Unfortunately, no dragons here, which is pretty good because there's a lot of people who would be in danger. Yeah, Riverwood.
You there, traveler! Over here!
So I'm heading to Solitude to get Auriel's bow still. Still got a little ways to go. Next stop after Whiterun is Forkstead. The horse is a summon horse, but there's one good thing about it. He won't disenchant until I get off the horse. So in other words, it's not going to disenchant while you're riding. And the good thing is, if anything actually does kill the horse, you can just summon it back again, since this horse is pretty much stuck in the Ideal Master's realm. So this horse really can't be killed, only return to the Ideal Master's realm, as I said. Looks like something attacked them.
Don't have a chance.
Must be a vampire. Didn't get a good look at it. I don't know if it's a thief or an assassin, but either way it's only after me, so... I'm almost to Rorikstead now. It's on the other side of this area right here. Alright, it's not following. so that other person's not going to be in danger. The wolf will get up running after me after a little while before I reach Workstead.
Get him! Kill him! Please, someone do something!
The handle is fever. There's Workstead. Looks like this is going to be on the other side of the Dragon Bridge, which is right here, way off in the mountains. Looks like a couple bandits. I'll let them deal with that wolf. And the reason I'm doing this is because up ahead is a bandit outpost. They tend to take over that area from time to time. It looks like it used to be a village. Not anymore. I probably should go take some time to take out their bandits there. I'll do that once I get the bow. Dragon Bridge is almost in view. Well, actually, it is in view now. There it is right there.
heard something.
Ambush area. Probably for animals. I don't see there's very much travel up there. Okay, here's where the cave is. No tangos yet. But that would be a good place to ambush from. Looks like there's a side path back there. Alright, torches are set up. Not just torches, but also braziers. So that really does look like an ambush place. Thought I had my dagger. There we go. Okay, dead end. Great. This wall looks odd though. With these edges right here, it looks like there's a path behind it. And there is. So, there must be a latch on the other side. Alright, so this is the only way.
Stay on your guard.
This place was set up with an ambush in mind again. And nobody here. do this with a torch. May as well use them. Okay, so they expect me to go down, huh? Spiders. Oh, that could have gone worse.
I knew I heard something. That'll teach you. Who's there? These people were... Why would anyone want to set up camp here? I wonder what happened to them.
Probably because they are bandits or sick of bandits. Or they're explorers. Of course, or they're farming eggs. Troll skull. Oh, that's interesting. You could be hunting trolls too. It'd be incredibly foolish idea, but oh, they were trying to live here. Doesn't look like the trolls came from down there. Well, at least I know who put the torches up. They aren't bandits though, so. That was the exit from earlier. Looks like another entrance you could probably fall through. That's not a good sign. Yep. I'm not so good at dodging those tripwires. At least your NPC isn't. Okay, so a fight here. Probably injured, set up the trap, or trigger, or arm the trap, and then blood out in the camp. Maybe the other one can be found alive, but that's doubtful.
Keep your eyes open here.
Yeah, there's a troll way in the back. At least one. Second one on the ground. Regeneration's already in effect. Alright, one tango down. Two tangos down. A lot of blood over there. Inside the sister. Wow, I saw it was torn apart. Hostile or not? Treat
What's
him
that?
as
Come
non-hostile.
forward. You have nothing to fear here.
He's a Myrrh.
I am Knight-Paladin Gelebor. Welcome to the great chantry of Auriel. Auriel, Akatosh, Akatosh, so many different names for the sovereign of the Snow Elves. I prefer Snow Elf. The name Falmer usually holds a negative meaning to most travelers. Those twisted creatures you call Falmer, I call the Betrayed. Of course, you're here for Auriel's bow. Why else would you be here? I can help you get it, but first, I must have your assistance. I need you to kill Arch-Curate Vyrthur, my brother. The kinship between us is gone. I don't understand what he's become, but he's no longer the brother I once knew. It was the Betrayed. They did something to him. I just don't know why Auriel would allow this to happen. They swept into the chantry without warning, and began killing everyone without pause. The chantry was a place of peaceful worship. I led a small group of paladins, but we were no match for the Betrayed's sheer numbers. They slaughtered everyone, and stormed the inner sanctum, where I believe they corrupted Vyrthur. He's alive. I've seen him, but something's wrong. He never looks as though he's in pain or under duress. He just stands there and watches, as though waiting. Leaving the way shrines unguarded would be violating my sacred duty as a Knight-Paladin of Auriel, and an assault on the Betrayed guarding the inner sanctum would only end with my death. Yes, let me show you.
Oh, it must be sunk into the...
This is Snow Elves. Incredible.
This structure is known as a way shrine. They were used for meditation and for transport when the chantry was a place of enlightenment. Prelates of these shrines were charged with teaching the mantras of Auriel to our initiates.
What's that basin in the center signify?
Once the initiate completed his mantras, he'd dip a ceremonial ewer in the basin at the way shrine's center and proceed to the next way shrine.
So these initiates had to lug around a heavy pitcher of water. Marvelous. How long would they have to do that?
Well, once the initiate's enlightenment was complete, he'd bring the ewer to the chantry's inner sanctum. Pouring the contents of the ewer into the sacred basin of the sanctum would allow him to enter for an audience with the Arch-Curate himself.
All that just to end up dumping it out? It makes no sense to me.
It's symbolic. I don't expect you to understand.
So, let's get this straight. We need to do all that nonsense to get into the temples so we can kill your brother and claim Auriel's bow.
I know how it all sounds. But if there was another way, I'd have done it long ago. The only way to get to my brother is by following in the initiate's footsteps and traveling from way shrine to way shrine, just as they did. The first lay at the end of Darkfall Passage, a cavern that represents the absence of enlightenment. There are 5 in total, spread far apart across the chantry.
Okay.
Caves? Oh no. The chantry encompasses far more than a few caves, as you'll soon discover. But before I send you on your way, you'll need the initiate's ewer. Once you've located a way shrine, there'll be a spectral prelate tending to it. They will allow you to draw the waters from the shrine's basin, as if you've been enlightened. This may be the last time we're able to converse. If you have any questions before you leave, I suggest you ask them. Otherwise, all I can do now is grant you my hopes for a safe journey. Questions? I expected it. They're ghosts of the Snow Elf priests that tended the way shrines before being slaughtered by the Betrayed. Through the grace of Auriel, They were restored to their spectral form to enable them to continue their duties. I'm afraid in their current form, they still believe the Chantry to be an active center of worship. They won't respond to you in any way other than believing that you're an initiate and you're undertaking the journey to the inner sanctum. This is, or was, the epicenter of our religion. Most of the Snow Elf people worshipped Auriel. The Chantry was constructed near the beginning of the First Era to provide a retreat for those that wished to become enlightened. Our empire had temples to some of the other deities. Trinimac, Sirabane, Yffrey, and Finister rounded out the rest. But those temples paled in comparison to the glory of the Chantry and its way shrines. Oh yes, they were an important part of the process here. They represented the steps the initiates took on the path to total enlightenment. Sadly, the magic used to construct these wonders were lost long before I arrived here. We were once a wealthy and prosperous society that occupied a portion of Skyrim. Unfortunately, we were constantly at war with the Nords, who claimed the land as their ancestral home. In a manner of speaking, we had always maintained an uneasy alliance with the underground-dwelling dwarves, and when faced with extinction, we turned to them for help. Surprisingly, they agreed to protect us, but demanded a terrible price: the blinding of our race. There were splinter groups that resisted the agreement, and even some that sought alternate alliances. But when it was all said and done, those elves were either slaughtered, vanished, or gave up and took the dwarves' bargain. I've often asked myself that very same question. The blinding of my race was supposedly accomplished with a toxin, certainly not enough to devolve them into the sad and twisted beings they've become. The Chantry is quite isolated, so it took some time for word of the dwarves' offer to reach us here. By the time the compact had been completed, it was too late for us to even attempt to intervene. Correct. We only numbered perhaps 100 at the time, so our presence remained a secret to the dwarves and the Nords. Ironically, our undoing came at the hands of our own people. Yes, they swarmed the Chantry in vast numbers until we were completely overrun. We never really stood a chance. I assume that the Arch-Curate was corrupted by them when they found a way to breach the inner sanctum. Vyrthur and myself are the only two Snow Elves that remain. May Auriel keep you free from harm.
Well, that makes the Falmer a bit more tragic. What happened to their people?
That wasn't as unpleasant as I thought it would be. Kind of soothing, actually. I feel a little warmer now. Where'd you come from? That'll teach you.
I would say the Falmer pretty much corrupted this place most likely. I don't know what these seams are.
Who's there? I knew I heard something. That'll teach you.
Regret that.
Who's there? Who's there? I knew I heard something. Must be gone now.
This looks like a side tunnel. Yeah. Bypass a trap or two. Okay, so confirmed trap. See one trap, there's going to be more. Given the terrain, I would expect tripwires.
Looks like these Falmer are here to stay. They must be who that priest was calling the betrayed. Who's there? I knew I heard something. I knew it. I knew I heard something.
They seem to be pretty good still with potions. Potions and poisons.
I knew I heard something. Done and done. Something's not right here. I think we may be in for some trouble.
Yeah. Number of places that are good for ambushes. Probably part of their poisons or the other potions that they've made. Skeleton, huh? And more of them. A weird display. Two of them.
Where'd you come from? Who's there?
More bodies. So this looks like a warning. A message. Legs crossed. Not sure what the message is other than you will die if you go here. So, trap ahead, sound trap. This rock formation is interesting. It reminds me of glass to a degree from Morrowind, but with green in it. One of that's ore. I always get the orc metal off. Whatever it is, it seems to reflect light rather well. Or generate it, I should say. Not much light to get to it. Those bugs they trained, 2 of them.
By the blood.
These creatures are poisonous, so I don't think I should risk leaving them behind so they could get out somehow or another.
Where'd you come from? Done and done.
Interesting tango on the other side of the waterfall. Nope. Alright, come this way.
Who's there?
That was a bad aim. Two tangos. Melee dead. Bridges made from maybe the parts of those bugs. Trap on this side. And that was my fault. Thought I could jump over it. Alright, well, it's already curious.
I knew I heard something. That'll teach you.
That is perhaps one of the craziest trap setups I've seen.
Where'd you come from? Done and done.
Interesting place to put a spear. More sound traps and also rock trap. And she's going to trigger it. Oh well, I best trigger it ahead of her. NPCs are just simply not good at getting around those type of traps. Although they're pretty safe to trigger for the most part, since they assume that you're still going to be walking through it. So the damage is usually done on the other side, with some small exceptions. A trap before that would hit you so long as you're within the door frame. Interesting.
Gold chains and traps. Be careful here. Whatever's on the other side of this, Alma wanted to keep it there.
Let's see what you do. Okay, so yes, they were very paranoid. Oh boy.
Where'd you come from? Done and done.
A cat. That's what they were keeping out. Yeah, this is impressive. More of this rock formation. Yeah, I think it's generating light now.
Are you seeing this? It's fantastic.
Two animals ahead. Neither of them appear to be a danger. These look like deer. Or a goat. No, deer. Their eyes look interesting. They appear to have adapted to the underground conditions rather well. There we go. Just survive it. There's an exit around here somewhere. Water's moving, so it's not becoming stagnated. That's a benefit. Experiment 1, let's see how they react to venom.
Where'd you come from?
Assuming that doesn't outright kill them. They are dead. Well,
Teach you.
so much for that experiment, but given the hue that it took on, they are affected by it. Let's take a look at these eyes. Interesting enough, they still have eyes, and they probably still work, given the amount of light down here. So that means they haven't been exposed to the same poison as the farmer. Now that's interesting. They might actually be blind. But these eyes are different. Maybe light blue, white. I don't know about the cats, but I think these deer are blind. Cats might have limited vision. Still unknown. no real way to test it.
I think that's another way shrine up there.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Welcome, Initiate. This is the Way Shrine of Illumination. Are you prepared to honor the mantras of Auriel and fill your vessel with his enlightenment? Then behold Auriel's gift, my child. May it light your path as you seek tranquility within the inner sanctum.
Okay. That is pretty impressive. One moment.